Welcome back. Let's continue this discussion. I'm now being joined from Abuja by Jide Ojo, who is a political and public affairs analyst. Mr. Ojo, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Let me start by asking you, what do you make of the politics that is playing out in the National Assembly now over the election or selection of the next leadership of that assembly?
Well, it's not new. We've continued with every 4 years. We've had to contend with this leadership tussle at each of the sections of inaugurating a new National Assembly. Don't forget, these are people who are election veterans. They have contested and won on the various platforms of their political parties. And having won, again, having opportunity to contest for the leadership of the different caucuses and then the leadership of the National Assembly. Some of them who have the ambition will also want to test the waters and see whether they can be, they can also add some leadership position to their resume in the National Assembly. So it's not a new contest.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, and sorry to interrupt. But let's look at the issue of zoning now, because it's an issue that is beginning to play up now. There are some people who are arguing that, look, if the Senate presidency does not go to the southeast of the country, at least the position of the Speaker of the House of Representatives should go to the southeast of the country, so that there's some semblance of balance. That it just wouldn't make it would not be balanced at all if, for instance, the candidate that the APC leadership is backing for the position of Speaker emerges the winner of that election. I'm talking about Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila now. We've had voices now coming out saying, look, the position of the speakership should be zoned to the southeast. What do you make of that?
It's a legitimate aspiration by the Southeasterner, but again, history beckons. What does the law say? The Constitution in Section 50, subsection A, says the Senate shall elect unto themselves a Senate President and Deputy Senate President. More specifically to the issue of Southeasterner, Section 50, subsection B of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps will be elected among their peers. So it didn't say you have to be a member of a geopolitical zone or that you have to be a member of the leading party. So for me, it's a legitimate aspiration. Election is about contestation of ideas and values. And if the Southeastern people feel very strongly that they have the numbers and they can lobby their colleagues across the party lines, and they have their aspiration ground.
That is where the problem is. You look at the politics we're seeing in the National Assembly, whether the Senate or the House of Representatives. Look, we know the candidates who have come out forcefully now to say they are running. We've actually not seen, we can't say the same of some of the lawmakers. Virtually all the lawmakers from the southeast of the country. We're not seeing that push from, the lawmakers from the southeast of the country. We're just not seeing that push at all. You want to say something about that?
Well, again, power is not served a la carte. Maybe the push right now is not at the peak. Don't forget, we still have some 2 months before this election in the National Assembly will take place. And 24 hours is a long time in politics. The people you think are not making a push may actually be making subterranean push. They may be working behind the scene. And sometimes the front runners may become back sitters when the chips are down. Like I said, this is April. The election is not due until maybe June 9 or thereabout. And a lot of water will still pass under the bridge
Now,
between now and then.
You did quote the Constitution about how, you know, the leadership of the National Assembly should emerge. Everyone understands that. As a matter of fact, even the Constitution of this country says nothing about rotating the presidency, but it's a general agreement, or we all understand that the political parties, for instance, try to rotate the presidency, whether or not we like it. So, and that zoning, it's a part of our reality. So, even if the Constitution of the country does not talk about zoning the leadership of the National Assembly, I'm talking about the leadership of either maybe the position of the Speaker or the Senate to any particular zone, but on the basis of equity and fairness and to ensure there's a balance, don't you think that it just might be appropriate, for instance, for the political parties, let's say the APC, for instance, that has the majority in the House of Representatives, to say, look, you know what, we've decided that we're going to zone the position of the speakership to the southeast of the country?
Well, it's left to the APC to do that, but there are contending interests, as we see, and the numbers may make all of the difference. Yes, I agree and I concur with you about the need for inclusivity in governance. And the president actually made that pledge immediately after he was declared the winner of the February 23rd presidential elections. And he said he wants to run an inclusive government. And of course, the Constitution talks about federal character in the Constitution. So the federal character principle will serving as our guide, will say, okay, in order to give a sense of belonging to all the 6 geopolitical zones, let us see how we can manage this situation. The president is from the northwest, the vice president is from the southwest. Then look at if you are zoning the Senate presidency to the northeast, then what does the people of the southeast, south and southeast, south and north central, what do they get in the pecking order of number 1 to 10? So it's a legitimate aspiration from the southeasterner to say, look, we want this zone to us. And I've also had a number of advocates saying that the speakership should be zoned to the north central, because that is where the incumbent Senate president is. And now that he has lost his re-election bid and, of course, defected from the party, it then shows that there is no way that seat could be retained by the incumbent. But then we have the Speaker of the House of Reps winning his re-election bid to the House. And you want to look at whether, in terms of when you are talking of equity, fairness, and justice, these are values that are not in short supply across all the 6 geopolitical zones. And I just believe that the leadership of All Progressive Congress will not impose any preferred aspirant on the members of the National Assembly, so that it does not boomerang like it did in 2015. I think they need to do some house cleaning and housekeeping by ensuring that, first and foremost, if there is a need for shadow elections, even where there are zones, because the next level of the argument is even where a particular position is zoned to a particular geopolitical zones, and we have more than one aspirant for that same seat from that same geopolitical zone. What do? For instance, Ali Ndume is contesting the same seat with Ahmed Lawan, and they are both from the northeast. One is from Borno, the other is from Yobe. So you want to see, would the party pressure one to step down for the other, or would they allow a shadow elections, in which case the caucus will present just one candidate, knowing full well that the opposition party has also said that they are going to contest for all of the positions that are up for grabs. So there are contending issues that needed to be resolved, but I think APC needs to activate its conflict resolution mechanisms, having realized that a number of times.
You're absolutely right. But do you see a repeat of what happened in 2015 happening this time? Do you foresee a situation? You're not a fortune teller, I know, of course, but do you foresee a situation where some members of the APC would choose to team up with the opposition and work against the interest of their party?
Well, it's not impossible, Deji. When you look at the fact that, for instance, if the position of the speakership is not zoned to the southeast, as is being demanded by some of the lawmakers from that zone, they may want to push forward another 2015 scenario where someone, don't forget Ike Ekweremadu, the current deputy Senate president, has won his re-election bid back to the Senate, and it may be the joker or the ace that PDP may be using to also negotiate with the APC, and the aggrieved party within the APC. Who, for instance, now if the party insisted on having its way with Ahmed Lawan as Senate president, and Ali Ndume can go and cut deals with PDP, and having Ekweremadu as his deputy Senate president candidate in order to give the Southeast people a sense of belonging. So a lot depends on how the APC as a party manage these contending factors. But I am all for equity, justice, and fair play. I am all for inclusiveness and ensuring that each of the 6 geopolitical zones have a fair representation among the top echelon of the leadership of this country.
Absolutely. And if you were speaking to the lawmakers now from the southeast of the country in the National Assembly, what would you say they should be doing now to ensure that the aspiration is realized?
Well, I would be telling them to shine their eyes, look at the credibility and the resume of the different contestants and what they are bringing to the table. Don't forget, this is the first step. Electing the Senate president and his deputy, electing the speaker and the deputy speaker is just the first step. There are so many other positions, chairmanship position of different committees to still be filled, and this is where a whole lot of us trading will be taking place, because it's about rubbing my back and I rub your back. If a particular zone gives you a block vote to emerge as either the deputy Senate president or House of Reps speaker or deputy speaker, they also will be looking at what do you offer them when it comes to chairmanship and vice chairmanship position of the different committees of either the House of Reps or the Senate. So a lot of us trading will be happening, but beyond grandstanding, I will encourage the National Assembly members to be very dispassionate in their choice of new set of leaders, knowing full well that a tree does not make a forest. There are 3 arms of government that need to work in sync, that need to work in harmony in order for this country to move forward. And any election of wrong or wrong candidates into leadership position can set us back for another 20 years or thereabout. So it is important for them to critically examine the character, the academic qualifications, the pedigree of whoever they are going to vote. Don't forget, electing somebody with a baggage, maybe corruption baggage, maybe any form of indictment, will rob the leadership of credibility in their leadership. And we don't want a new set of leaders that will be in and out of the court or tribunal for whatever reasons. So they need to go beyond just oratorial power or, the fact that somebody is popular. You need to examine how credible that such individual is.
Jide Ojo, public affairs analyst, thank you very much for joining us on the program.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, that's it on the program. But if you want to watch it again, it's simple. All you just need to do is go to our website, tv360nigeria.com. You'll find this program and lots more there. You can also follow us on our various social media handles and make your contributions to the program and lots more. Thank you very much. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.